Hey guys, welcome to Think Aside. Today I want to talk about something that we've probably all heard before, the idea of you don't have a say unless you vote, right? And that's something that I hear quite often, and I kind of was on the same boat. I agreed with that, and I still kind of mostly agree with it, is that if you're not voting, if you're not trying to do something, if you're not trying to make a difference, then you have really no place to say that you don't agree and you don't like what's going on, is kind of the idea behind it. You hear that quite often, especially around like election time and times like that. And it's not that I disagree, but I was listening to a song. Oddly enough, it was a Avenged Sevenfold song, A7X. And I don't remember the name of the song, but they say something about like how you never contributed an effing thing, right? And I don't know why my mind went in this direction, but I started thinking, how much of a say do we really have just by voting? Yes, voting is contributing, right? Like we are giving our opinion or uh, swaying something in a certain direction, but that's of course arguable how much of an impact that actually has, knowing that we have electoral colleges and knowing that we have different factors into a democratic republic is what we are, right? We're not just a democratic society in whole, being that the majority doesn't rule all. We have little kind of segments that are broken up that represent population and such. So without making this video about electoral college, it just got me thinking, maybe we need to be doing more, right, to have a say. We get so upset with our representatives, our president, the senators, all of these people. Even in our local government, we get upset with our town selectmen or the mayor or all of these things. But what about us? What are we doing, right? And we say that we are upset with what's going on. We're upset with, I personally, I can say, like, I'm upset with quite a few different things that are going on. I say upset, I'm very frustrated and disappointed in where our government is going, where our senators, where our government as a whole, our president of the United States of America, the policies that he tries to enact, without making this political and whatever else, because I try to stay away from the opinions of politics, but just just to say that I think we probably owe more to our society in order to truly uh see, and that's the thing, is like we can all have an opinion, right? We can all feel how we want to feel. It doesn't matter what you do. You don't earn an opinion. In general, you just have one, and that's fine. Like, that's human. That's our right to. But I would say that in order to really, for it to matter much or to have much credit, and I say that in the sense of, when you're talking about change, you're fine to be upset. You're entitled to be upset. But I wonder how much more we could truly do to make a difference, right? Like, not to say like you do or don't have a say, but how much more can we truly be doing? How much more can you be doing? How much more can I be doing when it comes to these things that we are upset with? When we see the president of the United States trying to say ban AR-15s and all that stuff that we continuously see years and years on end, fourth stimulus check, all these things. But yet, we're not trying to make awareness. We're not trying to, get elected ourselves or try to create a fix for the problem and market it, or you know what I mean, like all of these things that we could be doing. And I'm not going to act like I know all the answers. I'm not going to act like I know exactly how to fix it. If I did, then I would have fixed it by now, or at least I'd be on that path to. All I can do is this, right? This is one of my outlets to do exactly that, to try to make some sort of change, to let, even if it's just one of you guys, know that there's more there's more to consider than how things are, and to consider the possibilities or the possible fixes for these issues. Like that's my way of hopefully contributing, and makes me feel a little bit better about where things are going, knowing that at least I'm trying to fix them, right? And I'm not going to say that that gives me more of an opinion or more of a right to complain or to say or whatever, because again, like I do think that each individual, we do have the right. And I know that I started in one direction and kind of, changed my mind in a sense to an extent with like throughout this video, but that's kind of how my mind works, is I'm always trying to prove myself wrong. And in this situation, I do think that we probably should be trying to contribute more so that way we can make a difference. If we're upset about something, if we don't like the way something is going, instead of sitting back and just saying, I don't like the way this is going, or that guy's stupid for doing it, though you might not be wrong, I think why not do more, right? If you don't like it, change it, or at least try. And that's really my goal here, is to just encourage you guys, like, right? Like, there was a friend in, I say high school. It was actually after high school. I used to be a Mormon missionary, and this is when I used to be Mormon. And I went with one companion, is what they were called. It was the second missionary. You see them oftentimes in two, and that's their companions. And I was always under the mindset, for the most part, I kind of just learned to accept things, right? Like I accepted things for the way that they were, and I just dealt with it. And that was my mindset. And something that he had said was, that's stupid. If you don't like it, you need to change it. And at the time I argued it, and I didn't agree with it at all, but it stuck with me. And it's something that I've adapted in my life more and more over time, is that exactly that. If I don't like something, I'm not going to just accept it. I'm not going to say, well, that's the way it is. Oh, well. Instead, I'm going to say, that's the way it is. How can I change it? How can I make it better for me and the ones I care about? How can we change the direction that things are going? And I think that's an important lesson, is to know that even if it's a minimal change, just a little tiny splash in the huge ocean, then why not try? Why not make that little splash, right? It might affect a little minnow that's right beside, or it might get a fly. Like, this is a weird example, but why not try? Even if it's a little bit. I encourage every single one of you to do that. I encourage you to see the things that you don't like, whether it's a representative or even just something in your life. If you see something that you don't like, instead of just learning to either accept it or just be angry and allow it to continue to make you angry, instead try to change it. Make a difference, right? Even if it's the smallest one possible. I encourage you to do so, and to think aside the idea that we need to just accept whatever is thrown our way, or that we need to that if you voted that you have all the say in the world, and that's all you should have to do, right? Like, that's silly. Like, of course, that's just a start. That's one of many things we could be doing, and so let's do more. Think aside. Thank you.